Let's take the bull by the horns in this video as I unveil my latest G.I. Joe classified custom Bullhorn. So let's talk about Chris Bullhorn Sampson. Here he is in all his glory on TAKTAK Toys With Film. So yeah, welcome back to TAKTAK Toys With Film. Creating is half the battle. So yeah, here's one of my latest G.I. Joe classified customs. Bullhorn, as you can see here, was made on the rock and roll body. Just remember, this video is not for kids. So yeah, as I mentioned, I use rock and roll as a base body, G.I. Joe classified rock and roll. And let's talk a bit more about Bullhorn. So yeah, I drew inspiration from Vietnam War movies. If you watch those kind of movies, you notice a lot of soldiers in the movies kind of have their own look and personality added into their uniforms. And Bullhorn has a few insignia on his helmet, and also face paint which kind of reflect this. So I feel like Cobra have some great character designs, and while the G.I. Joes do as well, there's quite a lot of generic army men. So with my customs, I like to add some of that flair that Cobra has with their dreadnoughts and some of their other characters into my versions of Joes. And yeah, so this is Bullhorn, which as you can see here kind of draws that inspiration, as I mentioned, in the look and design of his character. So let's get into Bullhorn's articulation. And first off, the head can look up and down. As you can see here, the helmet is removable. Yep, head can look up and down, 360-degree motion. As you can see there's the face paint that I mentioned before. Arms go out to a T-pose, 90 degrees. You've got butterfly joints. You've got 360-degree shoulder rotation, double jointed elbows, 360-degree wrist rotation. As you can see there, basically standard articulation you expect on a G.I. Joe classified figure. Exactly the same thing on the other side. So both sides have that articulation in the arms as you'd expect. So yeah, as you can see there, full wrist rotation. Here we go. At the waist, you've got the ab crunch and a waist swivel, 360 degrees. And there you can see, there you go. Just noticed there's a bit of paint. I didn't paint some of his chest just down by the waist, but there you go. Double jointed knees. Thigh cut, as you can see there, yep, in use. A boot cut, as you can see there, and of course ankle articulation. I suppose you call it the ankle rocker, not too sure about ankle articulation. So as I say, yeah, and the same again on both sides. There you go, thigh cut in use, double jointed knees, boot cut, and ankle articulation. I suppose articulation is probably the most standard thing in one of these videos, but have to go through it just to show you that my custom is like any other action figure that you buy off the shelf. It retains all its articulation because it's been prepped in the correct way to keep its articulation. And if you do want to see how to do that, I'll talk more about a video in the comments below. But talking to the comments, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash the like button. Feel free to comment and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. So yeah, as I say, that is Bullhorn in his articulation scheme, and here he is sort of posing ready for battle, ready to take on any cobras in you know, the streets that he may cross paths with. And yeah, we'll get ready to do some comparisons soon enough. But as I say, I kind of wanted to draw inspiration from soldiers in Vietnam. They have very distinct, each soldier kind of in Vietnam war films anyway has very distinctive looks, and I felt Bullhorn might reflect this in his look. So there we go. Let's show you what Bullhorn comes with. So here's his kind of, I don't know if it's called M16, but basically large assault rifle. Let's call it that. His large assault rifle. And yeah, just like Rock and Roll's one, it has the same kind of row of bullets, and you know, can function in the same way. Yeah, there's the row of bullets. And here's his walkie-talkie. So that's Bullhorn's walkie-talkie. Bit of sort of old-fashioned bit of kit or tech, but you know, these Joes do hark back to more analog times, or more simpler times in some ways. Here's his handgun. Yep, as you can see there, repainted everything, as you can see on the character, the walkie-talkie, all the weapons, the character himself, all repainted completely from head to toe. And as I say, if you want to see that, there's a video on Rock and Roll, funnily enough, on my Beast Mode custom. So here's his helmet, completely removable. As you can see, I've put insignia when it returned around again. Insignia on his helmet, there's kind of like the Action Force logo, the Z, and 3 little stripes on the top of his helmet, and I'll put that back on. Just, you know, to give him that kind of look that, like I say, the Vietnam soldiers had a lot of designs and insignias on their helmet. Here's Bullhorn capturing some Cobra troops unawares, and let's do some comparisons. So here he is next to a Valaverse Action Force Delta Trooper. So as you can see, they scale really well together. Action Force Valorverse Action Force are designed to scale with G.I. Joe Classified, and yeah, lovely show, a lot of army green on show there with both figures. And of course that's my new diorama in the background that they're both standing on. But yeah, here he is next to a G.I. Joe Classified Delta Trooper, sorry, Valorverse Action Force Delta Trooper, not G.I. Joe Classified. And here he is, talking to G.I. Joe Classified though, here he is next to a G.I. Joe Classified Infantry Trooper. So this is kind of, you know, the bog standard army recruit of the Cobra forces. And yeah, here he is, as I say, next to a G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Cobra Infantry Trooper, which comes out loaded with lovely gear. And let's move from G.I. Joe Classified to Jada Toys, and here he is next to Jada Toys Ryu, and my god, these figures do pose amazingly well. So they're so much fun to pose. I've got to say, if you haven't got one in hand, do feel free to pick up either Ryu, Fei Long, or probably if you're in the States, Chun-Li would be releasing now. I think they're all available on Amazon.co.uk at the time of this release, and Evil Ryu possibly as well, but so much fun to pose in hand. So yeah, here's Ryu, and of course alongside Ryu, let's have a look at Fei Long, who's probably even a bit more fun to pose than Ryu. Who's Fei Long pulling out a signature pose. Yeah, like I said, these figures do pose so well. And of course the G.I. Joe Core 16 characters were part of, the Street Fighter Core 16 characters were part of the G.I. Joe line in the 1990s. So it'd be lovely to see if we could have a crossover. I don't know if it'd be possible, either from Jada Toys or Hasbro, of the sort of Street Fighter themed G.I. or the G.I. Joe themed Street Fighter figures, or vice versa. But yeah, it would be great to have a crossover like that. And here's Bullhorn next to my Jammer custom, who's obviously made from Sergeant Stalker. And yeah, Jammer was the Action Force equivalent of Sergeant Stalker in the 80s. And if you want to see the video for how I did Jammer, and you know, my creation Jammer, link will be in the comments below. And let's have a look, just for something different, at Mafex the Terminator. So the Terminator from the first film, here he is next. Here's Bullhorn next to a Mafex figure. So again, he'll be back. As you can see here, the Mafex Terminator scales really well with Bullhorn. So there they are next to one another. And yeah, talking to Mafex, let's put Bullhorn next to Mafex Comic Spider-Man. Now this is the second iteration of the Comic Spider-Man, or an updated iteration in the more comic colours, and the Mafex Comic Spider-Man is one of the best Spider-Men out there. I mean, Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Spider-Man 2.0 is also quite good, but this is a really good Comic Spider-Man. So yeah, there you go. There's some comparisons with Bullhorn and a range of different lines, just to kind of give you that look at, yeah, how he scales with the lines. So as you can see here, scales pretty damn well. But yeah, I'm really happy with this custom, how it turned out. Like I say, I took a lot of inspiration from kind of Vietnam War films, where you see Vietnam soldiers. I always think they look quite distinctive compared to soldiers from the Second World War, or the First World War, obviously. And each soldier kind of looks quite distinctive. So that is how I used inspiration to create Bullhorn. And like I say, I used the G.I. Joe Rock and Roll body, which is a great mold, actually, great body mold for customizing, as are most of the G.I. Joe Classified figures. And let's talk about some great YouTube channels that you can check out. So the first being Dan Who Reviews, for all the latest Marvel Legends news and reviews. And of course you can check out Legends and Liquor, Turtles and Tea with Dan and Tanner, and Joe's and Juice with Dan, our main host, Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse, and myself, talking all the latest G.I. Joe Classified and Action Force reveals from all the latest things. We've got PulseCon coming up, so that'll be one we'll be talking about, all the latest reveals on Joe's and Juice. And for action figure reviews in the UK, feel free to check out Jay's Toy Collection UK, and I'll put a link to his latest live stream featuring Adam Batman Moran, in the comments below, so you can feel free to check that out. And why not check out Big Will and Pixels and Plastic, of course. And you can also check out Agent Z-Man and his YouTube channel. And for Toy Hunt Stateside, you can check out Miguel and the Wolfpack Toy Review. And for all the latest pop music, pop covers, you can check out Elson Official Music. And feel free to check out Why So Serious Toys. And you can also check out Cypher Sigma for film reviews and toy pickups. And he did a video quite recently where I had a spare set of Crimson Twins, so I sent them over to him and he did a video of that, and I'll put a link for that video in the comments below. And for action figure reviews in Ireland, you can check out Brian's action figure reviews. And for all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions and more, you can check out Trevor the 1/6 shooter. And for toy photography tips and tricks, you can check out Photo Dave and Toy Pics. And why not check out Austin the Hero of Collectors. And of course, you can check out the 3POA podcast for all the latest action figure chat and pop culture discussion with Tony of Analog Toys, Sir Laserpants and Bobby Valor of Valorverse. And feel free to check out my video on Blaine Bunker Buster Mac, and I'll put a link in the comments below. And for some great places to purchase and pre-order action figures, you can check out Kapow Toys. And feel free to check out Props and Replicas. And you can of course check out Comics and Cocktails. And feel free to check out Invincible Toys, and I'll put a link to their futuristic combat soldiers on Big Bad Toy Store in the comments below. And you can check out the whole shebang, and also feel free to check out all the cool stuff. And you can also check out Star action figures, and feel free to check out In Demand Toys of course. But before you check them out, feel free to check out Valorverse for all the latest Action Force needs with international shipping. And you can of course check out Gobsmack Comics. And then yes, as I mentioned, you can check out In Demand Toys, and links for all these excellent UK independent online retailers, and of course Invincible Toys and the excellent Valorverse will be in the comments below. And you can also check out filmandtvreview.com for all the latest film and TV review releases, and their YouTube channel comment link is in the comments below. So yeah, there you go. What did you think of my Bullhorn custom G.I. Joe classified action figure? Do you have any G.I. Joe classified action figures in your collection? Do you have any custom action figures in your collection? Do you make custom action figures? Let me know any of those questions, and the answer to any of those questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And as I say, yeah, you know, you help make this video and all my other videos possible. So I'm going to keep making customs. I love sharing them with you. I've got another one. Well, I've got quite a few planned actually, but you'll see another one pretty soon on the channel, already in the works. But yeah, I love making them. I love sharing them with you. I hope you enjoy watching them. But yeah, as I say, thank you very much for all your support. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video or any of my others, and so that you're keeping up to date with all my latest content. And thanks for watching, of course. You make all these videos possible. And until next time, just make sure that you enjoy those flicks and figs.